Good day. So my report is all about Muslims' contribution to national struggle phase from 4 to 7. So this is only the continuation of Mr. Arellano's report. Let's start. This report outlines significant stages of these conflicts, focusing on the key battles and strategies employed by both Muslim defenders and colonial forces. The information is based on historical analysis, including the work of Dr. Cesar Adib Mahul. The Moro Wars began during the Spanish colonial period, as Spain sought to expand its control over the Philippines. Muslim communities fiercely resisted, defending their sovereignty, religious identity, and the way of life. This was the focus of the fourth stage of the Moro Wars. The Spaniards captured Zamboanga and established a military base on April 6, 1635. This lasted for 29 years until the Sulu warriors drove them out of their stronghold. This was so far one of the greatest achievements of Raja Bungsu, the Sultan of Sulu at this period. One of the key events is that Dalamitan, the seat of the Maguindanao Sultanate, was captured by the Spaniards on March 13, 1637. Kudarat's forces of about 2,000 suffered a defeat and was forced to move to the interior. 72 Muslims were decapitated and the Spaniards put their heads on spike for display. But 2 years later, in 1639, Sultan Kudarat re-established his forces and held his court at Pulangi. In Sulu, the Spanish attack continued until Jolo. The Sultanate capital fell after a 3-month battle on January 1, 1638. On March 25, 1644, Raja Bungsu dispatched his son, Pangeran Salikala, for this purpose. Having prepared the logistics, the Sultanate ordered a final offensive against the Spaniards with the Dutch Navy which bombarded the Spanish garrison at Jolo. After about a year of military confrontation, the Spaniards opted to stop the war and signed a peace treaty and evacuated all their forces from Zamboanga to Manila because of an impending Chinese attack of Manila. Image here is the Datu Raja Bungsu. The fifth stage of the Moro War commenced in 1718 when the Spaniards reoccupied Zamboanga. A huge military base known as Fort Pilar was built, and thus provoked the Sultanate of Sulu. Immediate reprisal was made, but this failed to dislodge the Spaniards. So one of the key events is that Sulu Sultanate and the Maguindanao Sultanate agreed to field 104 paraos with combined force of 3,000 warriors who made a new offensive on Zamboanga at the end of December 1720. This offensive, however, did not succeed. This showed that neither of them can be easily extinguished. It was through exchanges of envoys, despite the existence of the war, that a peace treaty was signed on December 11, 1726 between the Sulu Sultanate and the Spanish colonial government in Manila. The peace treaty deteriorated when Sultan Badar-Uddin attempted to capture Zamboanga on December 6, 1734, while some Sulu warriors attacked Taytay in northern Palawan. In response, the Spaniards invaded Jolo in 1735 and drove out the Sultanate court for a second time, which then transferred to Dungun, Tawi-Tawi. The war came to stop when the two powers signed another peace treaty on February 1, 1737. The sixth stage of the Moro War is the Spaniards' dream of Mindanao conquest. It commenced with the 1851 Spanish invasion of Sulu and ended towards the end of the Spanish rule in the Philippines. The treaty was signed in April 30, 1851, but just like the other treaties in the past, this treaty failed to hold peace for long. The Spaniards had already calculated that the sultanates of Mindanao and Sulu were weak to resist the Spanish conquest. Roman Martinez Vigil, a Spanish priest, wrote the theory of a just war. He exhorted the war against Jolo as a just war, a holy war in the name of Christianity. Rich people and Chinese capitalists in Manila responded enthusiastically to this call. They were able to raise 20 million for the Spaniards. Anchored on a just war principle, the Spaniards organized 9,000 troops led by Governor General Jose Malcampo. These troops were sent to Sulu, accompanied with hundreds of priests and sisters. They secured 11 transports, 11 gunboats, and 10 steamboats. They landed at Jolo on February 21, 1876. So the image on the left is Roman Martinez Vigil, and the image on the right is Governor General Jose Malcampo. The Sultan proclaimed the jihad and ordered the use of the concept of parang sabil as last recourse. The wise plan of Sultan was proven correct and effective. The Sultanate managed to negotiate another treaty on July 22, 1878, thus saved these people from further destruction. One of the best wars led by Maranao was the heroic stand of Datu Amay Pakpak in defense of Marawi in 1891 and 1895. Generally, all Muslim ethnic groups in Mindanao and Sulu supported the war against colonialism. They were the people behind the survival of the two sultanates of Sulu and Maguindanao in the face of foreign aggression. So the image shown is the statue of Datu Amay Pakpak. The Moro War actually did not end with the destruction of the Spanish colonialism in the Philippines. The Spaniards left, but the American colonial forces came in and continued the same colonial goals under the pretext of civilizing the natives. Since the orientation of the Moro War is the same as that of the Spanish time, the Moro-American War should be viewed as the seventh stage of the Moro War. Panglima Imam Hassan, who held the post of district commander from Luuk, Sulu under the Sulu Sultanate, was the first Tausug leader to defy the Sultan's order to work with the Americans for common good. He instead proceeded with his military plan, leading his 3,000 warriors fought the American forces in Jolo in early November 1903. Armed only with kris and some rifles, these Tausug warriors attacked the enemy's garrison, which was equipped with modern weapons. Despite his defeat, Hassan's military action won wider sympathy from the masses. He toured the island of Sulu promoting his cause, inspiring the local leaders to resist the U.S. colonialism. The image shown is the Commander Panglima, Imam Hassan. So one of the key events is that in January 1906, three prominent Tausug leaders took a bold opposition to the American policies and their occupation of the Muslim land. These were Imam Sahirun, Maas Abdul Latif, and Panglima Sawadhaan. These leaders assembled their 1,000 followers and put up their camp at Buddahu, about 6 kilometers from Jolo, the capital of Sulu. On March 6, 1906, General Leonard Wood, the governor of the Moro province, ordered the assault of Buddahu. His forces were composed of 790 men and divided into 3 groups. Each group was charged to attack from only 3 narrow passages leading to the camp of the Muslim. Using high-powered guns, the U.S. Army stormed the Muslim strongholds with mortar throughout the afternoon and gradually took a closer move in the evening. In the early morning of March 7, 1906, the U.S. Army fired upon the Muslim camps at close range. The Muslim rushed in and fought decisively in the open field. Only 6 survived, who managed to retreat and report the news of what transpired in the so-called Battle of Buddahu. So the image shown is General Leonard Wood. The spirit of the war never subsided. It continued to unleash nationalistic fervor until another major battle erupted, the Battle of Budbagsak in 1913. Budbagsak is a medium-sized mountain located about 50 kilometers east of Jolo. This battle was led by Panglima Amil, the leader of the 500 forces that holed up at Budbagsak. The war began on June 9 and ended on June 14, 1913. All Muslim warriors met their martyrdom in the 5-day battle against the well-equipped U.S. Army. So the person sitting on the left is Panglima Amil. This decline paved the way for the signing of the Kiram-Carpenter Agreement on August 20, 1915, where the sovereignty of the Sulu Sultanate was taken over by the U.S. colonial government. The collapse of the Sulu Sultanate in turn led to the integration of Mindanao and Sulu into the colonial politics. So in conclusion, the Moro Wars represent the long-standing resistance of the Muslim sultanates in the southern Philippines against Spanish and American colonizers. These wars, which spanned centuries, showcase the determination of the Moro people to defend their independence. Through their resistance was eventually subdued, the legacy of their struggle played a crucial role in shaping the cultural and political landscape of the region. The Moro people's efforts are a significant part of the Philippines' national history, illustrating their enduring spirit against foreign domination and their contribution to the fight for independence. And that would be all. Thank you.